Oh no, you cracked your phone screen. Hi, I'm Phillip, your tech expert at uBreakiFix, and today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't repair your own cracked screen. The biggest myth about fixing your own cracked phone screen is that it's going to save you money. What I find in my experience is that the quality of parts you're getting when you buy them online isn't very good. They don't come with a warranty, so if they don't work, you end up having to go back and buy another part and do another repair. And you also run the risk of doing damage to your phone that you didn't intend to do, which could potentially make the repair more expensive later on. The most common way that DIY screen repairs go sideways is trying to get into the phone. I've seen customers have difficulty getting in through the security screws, and they end up stripping the screws and therefore not being able to open the phone at all. With phones that go through the back, I've seen customers break this back glass and then they have to replace this part as well, which is a whole separate piece. And then with the actual replacement, I've seen customers damage components unintentionally. Most Android phones, like Samsungs and Pixels, use adhesive to seal the device. And if you're trying to remove the back glass or remove the front screen that's already cracked, you could potentially run the risk of leaving small bits of glass or glass dust behind, which can cause further issues for the new part that you try to put on. So when those kinds of things happen, it could definitely become a more expensive repair than just paying out of pocket for a screen from one of the professionals. True or false, buying a cheap repair kit online is just as good as taking it to the pros? I would have to say that is false. Something that some people don't realize about phone screens until they try to replace it themselves is that the part itself is combined. It's the glass and the LCD, as well as some of the small components on the inside. Sometimes you'll go online and you'll order just the glass, or you'll order just the LCD, and when it arrives, you find out, I don't have the tools or equipment to actually separate those two components and do that repair. Sometimes you get a part that doesn't actually work. You may not realize you need to go through the back of the phone, for example, and then you end up cracking the back glass, which leads to another part that you have to order. You could also run the risk of potentially shorting out components on the board because you're not wearing your ESD wrist strap, you don't know where certain connectors go, you don't know what connectors need to be disconnected in what order. You end up shorting out certain components like the charge port that now you have to buy another part. All sorts of things can happen that can really make that easy screen repair a lot more complicated. So if you do crack your phone screen, I would say the first thing you should do is try to avoid touching the broken area, because those shards of broken glass can get into your fingers, cut you, and be generally uncomfortable. Some things you can do before you bring it in would be to back up your data first and foremost, because we never know with a screen repair if any data loss may occur. Some additional advice would be also to get a case or some sort of a screen protector, maybe even a Ziploc bag to put the phone in. Some things you shouldn't do would be to put Scotch tape or packing tape over the phone to try to keep the screen from cutting your face, because that just leaves behind sticky residue and it makes the repair a lot more difficult. Some tips that I would give to a customer in order to avoid cracking their phone screen if they were to drop it would be to put it in a good case, something that advertises good corner protection in order to make sure that if it does fall at a weird angle, that those corners are going to be protected and that glass is going to be safe. Additionally, you can invest in simple screen protectors to help cover and add an extra layer of protection to the glass. I've actually had customers bring in broken screens, and it turned out it was just a broken screen protector. We peeled it right off and their phone was perfect as new. Some other accessories that might be handy would be things like pop sockets or something that can help hold the phone when you're using it. Phones nowadays are getting bigger and bigger, and sometimes our hands just aren't big enough to grip onto them. So accessories like that can definitely help keep the phone in your hand and not on the ground. While DIY projects may be fun and a little bit challenging to some people, you do run the risk of causing further damage and maybe just putting a Band-Aid on a broken arm. So my personal recommendation is to take it into an expert, let them do the repair, so that way your phone will last months, years beyond the repair and not just a temporary fix. Visit uBreakiFix.com or your local uBreakiFix by Asurion store for diagnostics, repairs, and more. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips about your favorite devices.